uninstalling WhatsApp.
Oh, what did that look like? I'm so exhausted. I'm like, just tip me over and pour me out. Hello, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Oh, trust that you and your family are doing well. Okay, so, oh man, this medicine, I don't like it. Mm. All right. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you and your family. Happy, you can Happy Saturday to you and your family, from mine to yours. I trust that you and your family are doing wonderful. All right. So today's video, I've been so busy filming a video. I just did 2 recipes today. I have one more recipe to go. And I'll make it like 3 videos for today. So StellaZone is being packed, trust me. So if you've not subscribed, subscribe, share the channel, get the word out there, subscribe for the amazing content that is coming. All right. So without further ado, let me get into today's spontaneous video. I actually did not plan on doing live, but I feel like it's something that has been like, it's like laid on my heart. And I was going to record it yesterday, but then I got busy, so I've been just busy running around. And so I just sat down and I'm like, you know what, I got my phone, so why don't I have a talk with my ladies, with my StellaZone family. And we can share ideas together. So this video is going to be, I said, spontaneous video. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that we in our society really don't talk about. You know, we praise God, we give him the glory, the honor, the adoration for the life that he's given us, you know, for the blessings that he's given us, for counting us among the living. To be alive, it's it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So you guys can see me, right? Forget, I mean, I don't look, I might look a little um so I've been having after my last video, my last live video, I've been having people like reach out to me, and then talking about, you know, I've been through this, I've been going through this. Can you guys see me? I want to make sure you're seeing me, you know. If you can, okay, if you can see me and hear me, just say yes or give a thumbs up. Okay. So yeah, after that live video, people were texting, sending me messages about, you know, they've been through the same thing and they're frustrated and they really don't know what to do and they're depressed and um you know, and so on and so forth. And this is something that in our society we really don't talk about. We really, really don't talk about it. And I'm talking about a woman who has lost a child. You know, a woman who has lost a child, losing someone. You know, we all have different stages, or we all have a different process of grieving. Grieving, you know, we all go through it differently. And people can lose a child at different stages. You can miscarry, you can have a miscarriage at 6 weeks, you can have a miscarriage at 12 weeks, you can have a miscarriage at 20 weeks, you can have a miscarriage even after 30 weeks, you can have a stillbirth. You know, you can have the baby and the baby will, so they are that process, you know. So at that time you cannot say, you know, our grieving, you know, your grieving and the person, your, if you've lost a child, a pregnancy at 6 weeks, of course you're not going to grieve on the same level versus somebody that lost a child at 30 weeks or even had a stillbirth. You understand what I'm saying? The full term and a stillbirth. So, and I have come to realize that it's something that in our society they don't talk about it. You know, it's like, excuse my language, like people will can even have a conversation about an abortion, but a miscarriage is something that I feel like most of the time the woman carries the burden alone. You know, she has nobody to talk to, or it's like the topic, it's not like out there, like so open out there, for the society, you know, for her to have a discussion. And I know something that I saw recently was John Legend and his wife, they went through the same thing. I think her wife had a miscarriage, you know, but she had to go through, you know, having the baby, birthing the baby. They and she was like, they did everything to save the baby. You know, sometimes it's not in your hands. So I just feel like, just talk about it. You know, just find somebody who is willing to listen, because it is not easy to carry the stress, because sometimes you'll be wondering, what did you do wrong? You know, what did I do wrong? I'm fit, you know, I'm in a perfect shape, you know, I'm healthy. What could I have done wrong? Or was it that run that I had that morning? Was it that medication that I took? You know, was it that trip that I went on? You know, and in most cases, I would probably say 99% of the cases, is not something that you did. It's just something we do not have control over. Because I've been through it 2 times, and in both times I was just asking myself, you know, what did I do? What went wrong? You know, what could I have done? You know, I just kept blaming myself. Was it because I was very active and very fit and working out and going to the gym and lifting weights? And it was just so many things. And I was blaming myself. I was angry. I was mad at myself. But then it wasn't something that I had control over. So in that case, I remember when my second one happened, I remember speaking to my mom and asking my mom, I said, how did you do it? You know, I had a brother that passed away at the age of 2. I was very, very young. You understand what I'm saying? So I was asking, and I saw how strong she was. So I asked her, I said, how did you do it? You know, how did you do it? Like, you know, yeah, like that day, there was this strength that I saw in my mom, you know, that like I had never seen before. You know, and she was like, you know, I had to gather myself and pick myself up because I had you guys, and you know, I couldn't bear myself to be broken for you guys. But in a case where, you understand what I'm saying, you don't, it's like you don't have any child at all. Some people, they don't have at all. Some people, the pregnancy is not coming. Some, they have one, and after the one they want to have more kids, but it's not coming, you know. And so, and like that's why I said society is just not upfront about it, or there's no much discussion even in, and there's a stigma, especially with a woman, like from where we come from where I come from, you know, the part of the world where we come from. If a woman has gone through a series of pregnancy, she begins to earn like some unfavorable titles. You know, there's something wrong with her, there's something like she has some spiritual problems, you know, that kind of thing, that kind of demeaning thing, you know. Sometimes, you know, in Ghana, how they have this thing called equity, it's like, you know, they are shading you, but you know, they are not doing it directly. And so, and that is very, very, like, for a woman to go through that is very, very stressful. If you're married to, like, you know, let's say a man who is not understanding, or like into a family that they are not understanding, the woman takes all the blame. And so this becomes like too much on a person. Like, take me for example, like when you're going through that, and then it's like you see people that you got married before, like you got married before they got married. Like you can see people like you're married like 2 3 years and they just got married, you know, and they are going like they are coming out like popping out kids like something, you know, and you're like wondering like, but what is wrong with me? Like, I've been married 2 years. That person just got married like a year ago, and already they're having a baby. And then you start comparing yourself. You start seeing yourself in situations, you know. And then it's like a comparison, and it just can be very, very stressful, and that can also take a toll on your hormones. And stress, pregnancy is not something. If you're trying to conceive, stress is something you cannot entertain. Stress is something that you cannot entertain. So I just wanted to like talk about it a little bit, you know, and how I dealt with mine. You know, I was just very open about it, especially with Steven. I was telling him how my husband, if you don't know who he is. So I was telling him like how I was feeling, like on days like, you know, I'll see myself crying. I'll speak to someone like my mom, like people that have been through it. And I don't think there's actually like healing, like you were 100% healed. Because I remember going a couple of times. I remember going back to the cemetery where my daughter was buried. Her name was Natalie. I was like, oh, it's a boy. We're going to have a boy. We're going to have a boy. So the day I went to the hospital to give birth to her, she had already passed on for like a month. And so I went to the hospital, and they were like, "Do you know what you were supposed to have?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's supposed to be." And they were like, "It's a girl. Do you have a name?" And at that point, we didn't know it was a girl, so we didn't have a name. And so they were like, "Do you have a name?" And was like, "Okay, we'll call her Natalie, 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 Natalie." And so that was the name we gave her. And my way of healing, in fact, I cried. Like, I cried to go through like an 18 months pregnancy, and then at the end of the day, like, have a miscarriage when you've been preparing. It's like you and the baby, like, things are sinking. You're in love with this child already from conception. And so sometimes even before that, you already have a name for the baby. You are talking to the baby. You are preparing your mind. Mentally, you are prepared to meet this baby. Physically, you are prepared to meet this baby. It's like you're on baby high. Yeah, and you're watching for this baby. And then to one day go for an appointment, and they'd be like, and then they go to the room. The ultrasound tech will be like, "Okay, I'll be right back." Okay. And then they go back and forth. Something is wrong. Something. At that point, I just had chills over my body. Like, my heart like sunk. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I started like shaking and things like that. So, to all the women out there, my story might be different than yours. Mine happened at 18 weeks. Yours might have happened at 30 something week, or even 40 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? It's different, but I understand. I can't say I know exactly how you feel, but I can understand how you feel, and you have every right to. Sometimes, we do not I will cry. Like, I will just sit and cry. And you're going to cry, just cry. How my mom was like, "Oh, don't cry, and just be strong." And some of us, the only way we can communicate how we're feeling is through crying. It's also a way that you communicate. It's a way of communication. Like, this is how I'm feeling right now, so I'm just going to be crying. It doesn't mean you're defeated or you're weak or something. It's just a way that I want to communicate my feelings. So yeah, fine. Don't bottle it all in there. Like, I will just sit and be like, "God, I just want to talk to you." Like, sometimes I'll sit there, I'm like, "God, I just want to talk to you. I know that I'm supposed to trust you, and I'm not supposed to doubt you, and you know what you're doing. But at this point, just watch me as I cry." Those kind of things. I know I've said this number before. So if you I would say that if you can find somebody that you can trust, you can talk to, find that person and talk to that person before you lose your sanity, because it can be very, especially if it's been one lady sent me a message. I'm not going to say her name or anything, but she went through 17 miscarriage. Like, how do you survive that? How do you survive that and become normal? Like, I don't know how a person can go through that. And I mean, she ended up having a baby girl. Like, she ended up having a daughter. But how do you go through 17 miscarriage and you are normal? I've read people going through 5 miscarriages. I know people that have personally gone through it. Like, how do you, I don't even know. Like, when she told me, I was like, 17, like, how do you even, but if the grace of God was sufficient for her, so God knew she could go through it, or it's not like it was the will of God for her to have said, "No, no, no, I don't think it's the will of God." You understand what I'm saying? But God gave her, like, she could handle it, so she had the strength, that kind of capacity. But like, what I could handle, like the Bible says, He will not give you more than you can handle. You understand what I'm saying? So there are people out there that are strong, and sometimes I wish, that there will be a community. I know there are places on Facebook and things like that, but I just feel like people will be more open about it and talk more about it. And sometimes, even when people are even struggling, fertility, even if they've never had a miscarriage and they're struggling like to conceive, it's like they don't even talk about it. They don't even talk about it. So, because I remember, like, I wasn't even struggling or anything. So it was weird with what I was going through. So, like, when you're that sensitive, when somebody be like, "Oh, oh, but you people have been married. But you people have been married for some time now. So when are you having a baby?" In our society, things like that will come up. People don't really have a filter. They just blurt out whatever it is that they are thinking without it going through a process. without knowing how you're feeling or what you're going through. But sometimes you see people, I've seen people be like, oh, yeah, we want to have another baby. We really struggled to have just even this one. We really struggled. I have to be put on medications and things like that. And so and you don't understand. You will see people, couple out there, and they are smiling, and then you think everything is fine, but inside, within them, they're really struggling. They are really going through a lot. So be considerate, be considerate, and think about like the way you approach couple. And in our society, it's like, oh, it's like the day you got married and went on your honeymoon. When you come back, they have to see a baby bump. They have to see it. They have to see the evidence of the honeymoon, the outcome of that honeymoon. They want to know that you did not go there to play. Okay, so that can be very daunting, and that can be very stressful on the woman if she has to carry all this weight on her shoulder. So be supportive. Pray for people in your closed doors. Pray for people. Wish the best for people. And if you're a woman out there too, and you're doing everything, I would just say find somebody and also pour into that person. Be a blessing onto that person. I have come to realize that, in this life, you can't have it all. Like, you cannot have it. I mean, it's you can live that life, that Christ fulfilled life, but to get there, it's not easy. Because I've seen in situations where I remember when I traveled, I'm like, oh man, I have this house, I have this space, but it's like you don't have children. And then you have children, but then you don't have the space. People have like a dozen of children that you would think they can't even afford to take care of. But they are like every time they meet with their husband, it's going to result in a pregnancy. But the means to even, to put up like I would say like a better life or something, they are struggling, but they are happy. You understand what I'm saying? But then, and then you will find people that they have it. They will have the house, they will have the acres, they will have the assets, and like they have it, but they don't have the children. They don't have the children. And I stand back, I say, God, we cannot, you see, these fingers, they are not equal. I realized this thing when I went to London. I was like, my goodness. You don't take your crying, Father, give me children and all this thing. You live in this house, you live your 2 bedroom, your 3 bedroom, and 2.5 baths and all that, and it's just the two of you living in the house, you and your husband, and have all this space. Somebody has this children, but they can't even afford this space. So I'm telling you, you ought to be grateful. It is painful. That's me. That one thing that you have to sow seed. It that's one thing that I that is one process that I went through. That it was through my husband that God made me to understand those things. When I'm sowing seed, I'm not saying go and carry money and give to somebody. You understand what I'm saying? You have to, even if it's like volunteering your time, if it's like things that you're doing. If you know that there's somebody that that had kids, and it's like providing for the kids is difficult. Sometimes when you're there, it's like you can even, like, if it's groceries, it doesn't have to be every day. If it's clothes, if it's whichever way you can help, sow seeds. Sow seeds. And the one that waters the seed and makes sure that the seed will grow and germinate one day, he's going to do it, and one day you're going to reap the fruit of your labor. It's just, that is the way we have been conditioned to think. Take, sow into somebody, invest into somebody. I told somebody last time, the person messaged me, I said, this is your waiting period. And what are you waiting? What are you doing in your waiting period? Don't sit around and mope around and cry around. And as you are doing your research, as you're waiting on God, go out there, be a blessing also unto somebody. Be a blessing out there unto somebody. If you see this woman, she has all these kids, this little kid, she needs help, you can offer your time. It doesn't have to be money. You say, oh, Stella, well, I don't have the money. Offer your time. Offer your time to help her, to assist her, to do something that you do. And some of us, like, we don't like kids. We hate the message of, some people's kids, oh, they're rude, they're disrespectful, they're this, and yet we are crying for God to bless us and give us children. I mean, America will condition you to think that way. We live in an entitled world, so you feel like you're entitled to whatever you feel you need. You understand? But that is not how God operates. That's not how He works. You understand what I'm saying? So as the more He's seeing you, being a blessing unto somebody, He blesses you so that you can be a blessing onto people. So make yourself available. You know, so find that avenue. And I know that I always keep talking about this, there's a lot of fertility issues going on. If you look in the world today, if you take a look at, data and statistics and things like that, the infertility is on the rise. And I keep telling people, look at the food you are eating. Look at the food, pay attention to the food you're eating, attention to the thing you're injecting into. There are some things you cannot like say it on Google or something, it's censored and all that, but pay attention. I'm telling you, to the toxins you put in your body. Sometimes the body, you need to flash it. Sometimes it's not even like God is not doing it, He has done it, but it's just certain lifestyles is making it delay. Just certain lifestyle is just making it delay. So I keep saying that God created a perfect world, but because of sin it has been corrupted. So if you want to live in this world, and even the people out there are doing their research, they're introducing this thing, and you'll be like, I'm going to everything, I'm going to sanctify it with the blood of Jesus Christ, I'm going to provide it, and I'm just going to eat it like that. You cannot say, okay, this is poison, I'm going to sanctify it with the blood of Jesus Christ and just drink poison. No. Please, women out there, please and please and please be careful of the food you put in your body, the processed things you're putting in your body, especially the injection you're putting in your body. I cannot tell you get it or don't get it, but you can investigate some of these things and how some of these things can make people sterile without, they're not going to tell you. So investigate, because it doesn't make sense. You'll be like, in my family, we are fertile, but what is happening? The God did not create you barren. He did not. You are fertile. So then what is the issue? So you have to also, as you're praying and you're trusting God, you also have to open your eyes and look at your environment. Sometimes you might have to rule out things that you might be eating, but it's not agreeing with your body. And I talked about the app. Let me see. It's called Clue. You can use that to track your period. I don't know if you guys can. Okay, so look at the phone. So you see up here, it says Clue. All right, CLUE. So let me click on it for you. And then it's going to help you to track your period. Okay. It says it told me it's like your period starts tomorrow. This is on serious for you can share this with your husband. You can share it so that he will know also when you're ovulating. So he'll be like, okay, babe, we are in sync. Okay, time to take a trip or go somewhere or do something. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, so you can use like somebody saying period tracker. So this is a period tracker. This is called Clue. This is the one that I've been using for years now. So you can let me go to the calendar. I go onto the calendar here. So sorry. I'm just showing you. You see, it will tell you the red ones are like you tracking your period, the red just plain ones, and where you see the spikes on the side is when you're supposed to be ovulating. Okay, and it will like, let me see if I can go up to, if you see the blank ones, they were when I was pregnant. So of course you're not gonna chat it, but let me go and show you. I just wanna, it says 2012. I'm coming, guys, so bear with me. I'm trying to. So yeah, so like the colored part, it will tell you when you were fertile. It will tell you, give you the days that you are fertile, and your fertile window. It tell you what your fertile window. Just put your period. If you get it today, it will even tell you the to put the amount of, like, you're bleeding, so you can put all that in there, and then it will tell you, it will give you like a notification, and it will even tell you if you are like your cycle is 28 days or 30 something days, you have to track it for 3 months though. You have, even if you've like written it down and you don't have a tracker, download this app, right? Download the Clue app and go back and put it in there when you're, I mean, the last 3 months of your period, and it will tell you. See, Nana, yeah, Abrefi said, yeah, Clue helped there a lot. Was accurate. This thing is no joke. It's accurate most of the time. You don't have to go and buy something expensive. These days, most of us have a smartphone in our pocket. All you gotta do is put the damn, put the app on there. You understand what I'm saying? Put the app on there and track it. You understand what I'm saying? And track it. So you can do this and get the ovulation test kit as well. You can get the ovulation test kit as well. So when it's telling you that, you know, your fertile window is coming up, so what you can do is then you can start using the ovulation test kit to make sure that they sync together, you know, to make sure that they sync together. And this is, I am telling you, this is accurate most of the, this is no joke. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you can do something like this just to watch your diet. I remember even at one point I had to like stop like eating red meat. You understand what I'm saying? I had to stop eating red because most of this food we are eating is so processed. It's so processed. You will not understand. If you watch some of these things they have on Netflix, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to stop eating this, I'm going to stop eating that. I'm telling you, you know, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So you're going to have to get used to it. You know, it's not like, you know, oh, you're going to start it, and once you start it, it has to happen right away. Be patient. Don't stress your body. Like me, sometimes I stress. I'm like, okay, I need to lose weight. I need to do it. But then I'm like, you know what? It took 9 months, and I mean, for me to get pregnant, I mean, for me to have a baby and gain all this weight, so it's not going to happen overnight. So yeah, use apps and track it. Write it down. Once you know around your ovulation, then you and your partner, your husband, you can work it out in there. See what's best for you. You know, spice things up, and you know, some. I remember like a friend of mine was giving me some tips as well. You understand what I'm saying? So do the ones you can do. It is God that plants the seed, but you know you do what you gotta do. You understand? Because when your period is all over the place, it's difficult. It's very, very, very difficult. So, but once you track it and you know, I'm telling that people don't understand. It's like I'm speaking to them, but they don't like. I don't want to use like plain code on here. You know, Google now will come after you. So just, I'm telling you, I am telling you. So just watch the food you're eating. Too much processed food, women, you know, and be careful. Like I said, the injection you get, I don't want to say that one over here. So just be careful of when you go to your doctor. Even when you're pregnant, you'll be recommended. Me, when I'm pregnant, I don't get even any injection. Me, when I'm pregnant, no injection, nothing. A baby, by the grace of God. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, and don't be like, just because you you know you are tracking your ovulation, don't make it like, okay, let's have a baby, let's make it for a baby. You understand what I'm saying? Make it fun. Okay, make it fun. Just make the room nice. Make it, don't be like, okay honey, I'm ovulating, let's just get it in and get out, like something like like that. You know, don't do that, please. Just, you know, make it I mean enjoyable. Just relax your body, you know, relax your body, and things will work. No, Victoria, no, I don't. I have never. I never, and I would never recommend it. But just check with your doctor. You know, I go to a natural, like I have my babies at a birth center. I don't have them at a hospital. I have my babies at a birth center, and they lean more towards the natural path. It's like the body is made to do this. I was talking to a lady on Friday, and she has 3 kids, and she has 3 children, and she was telling me she wants to try for a fourth one, but that you know, she loves kids. So me and her were talking, And she's like, man, it's amazing what a woman's body can do. The natural, and she was like, she really wants a natural birth and all that. But she couldn't find a birth center. So I told her about the place where I had my kids, or I had my children, which is the birth center of St. Pete. They are amazing. Like, I have to do a video entirely about that. Like, they were amazing. Once you have a birth center experience like I had, I don't think you will ever look at the hospitals again, because it's like you are like a VIP guest. You know how these celebrities are paying to go give birth. That's how the birth center where I went. That was how it felt. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it felt. And having a baby too, you have to take a lot of things into consideration there. Of course, if you're in Europe, I think it's free, but in America, of course, you have to consider the cost of healthcare. I think at the birth center this time when I went to have Gabriella, we had to pay out of pocket, because by the time like we registered for insurance and got on insurance, they were like, it's considered a pre-existing condition. I don't know what that nonsense is about. That's another video, I mean, entirely. But for them, like out of pocket, it was like $4,900, and I thought it was still, I mean, it was still like good. You understand? It was still good versus if you have to go to the hospital and you don't have insurance and you have to pay out of pocket or something like that. It is going to be costly. Sometimes it can run up to maybe in the 20s, in the 30s. I'm talking about thousands. So okay, Auntie Neka says hello. So I'm telling you, Lady Ju, tell them. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to say the word. Actually, there's a doctor that we know and was talking about it, and the shot that you're talking about. How they will tell you get it for your children, and he was talking about in a couple of years to come. That's why we are facing this fertility issue. Our children might end up being sterile. I was like, oh my goodness, you understand what? So there's a lot of things, but I keep saying, I keep telling my mom, I said, that statement that that God made, like that statement in the Bible, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Like, that is such a broad statement that we don't even understand. If you refuse to learn, if you refuse to do your research, you are going to become a lab rat, or like a guinea pig or something, like they say. To these Some of these people, they will use you as an experiment. They will use you as an experiment. So do your research. Like, after I had my experience with going to like a regular OBGYN, and when I had Nathaniel, I don't know, I guess the Lord just laid on my heart to look for a different route. And that was when I got into, like, the birth center and everything. I understand that you might not have like a birth, like I took the classes, like a 7-week class with the birth center before I had Nathaniel and Gabriella. And I had people that were having even a hospital birth, but we're still associated with the birth center. We're still like, they'll get a doula who will like be like some sort of advocate for them. So sometimes, even if you're like having difficulties and you have a really good midwife, like they are very knowledgeable in the holistic path, they can like help you. They can help you. God has given them that wisdom. They can help you. But sometimes a lot of us, a lot of midwives that have gone to, this Western medicine and things like that, they can even still help you, because I feel like nowadays a lot of people are, gearing towards the natural path, the natural path. So I'm saying, just do your research, just look into what you need to do, just cleanse your body. If you have to detox that nonsense they've been injecting into you, that nonsense they've been feeding you, that nonsense that is making your hormones spike, in and out of balance. Because how do you expect to get pregnant when your hormones are always, out of balance? You understand what I'm saying? You want your hormones to. Gabby, Gabriella does not want you to sit. It's like, move. Um, you can get like a really good doula to work with the midwife. Like, where the birth center that I had my children, they have doulas there. So if you want to do, I didn't do a doula though, but if you wanted, I always said that Stevie was my doula. What's wrong with her, babe? I'm coming. She won't take it. All right, here. Oh, okay. I was gonna take it. I'm telling you. So just like I said, just pray, pray. You do your praying part, and then you leave the rest to God. And like I said, do your husbands are good. I'm telling you. I told you. I was like, I'm Steven or my father-in-law will be my doula because they're always there. They're like, oh girl, it's almost time and things like that. But this time, even if I had a doula, by the time I got there, like I had already like at the parking lot, I just had the baby in the car. I just did, she came flying out. And so even if I had to do it, I'm like, okay, my water broke, I'm in labor, I'm going there right now, meet me. And by the time she gets there, it's like, okay, baby, it's out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So because I had planned for like a water birth and everything, but as God will have it, it didn't happen. So that's, I digress. So seriously, talk to somebody, go out there, be a blessing. Because if you're going to always be indoors, and you are seeing other people's and their kids video, and you're like pictures, that, oh, this is so cute, and you're moping, pour into somebody, be a blessing, be available for somebody that needs your help. You understand what I'm saying? And as you go, it will take even your mind off these things. And by the time you realize, boom, you are even, you're knocked up without even knowing it. You're like, oh my goodness, oh, I tested positive. And make sure you do all this. I've shown you the Clue app. Trust me, start tracking your period. Your sister, oh, that was good. Yeah, I'm telling you. So start tracking your period. Start eating healthy. Even if just you yourself as an experiment. Don't let somebody else use you as an experiment. You understand? Because they're gonna try all kinds of things. So eat clean, track your period, and see the difference. Watch the difference that is going to happen in your body. Just watch that difference. It's going to be amazing and transforming. You understand? And once the kids come, trust me, if you're like back to back like mine, you're like, oh my goodness, you won't even remember those days. You will just, whenever you remember it, all you do is give glory to God Almighty. So any questions? Auntie Gabriella is gonna go on my back. Any questions before I wrap this up? So yeah, if you're a woman out there and you're going through this, please take heart. Please find somebody to talk to. um if sometimes you can even go, if your doctor is somebody that is concerned about you, like you can have a talk with them. You can have a talk. But if not, like I said, I don't know where you live, but here you can have like midwives on the holistic path, or they even have holistic doctors that can help you. I'm telling you, don't just be a blessing. Sow seed into somebody's life. Sow seed. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, Pastor, I have come to sow 500. No. If you can find somebody like a woman or a family that is struggling, and you can be a blessing in terms of your time, in terms of resources. There's so many ways you can be a blessing. You don't have to be like, okay, I'm sowing seed, I want to sow. Find somebody that you think needs the help. It can even be like buying clothes for, orphanage, or just pouring into somebody. Trust me. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to if you want to harvest cassava, you first have to sow cassava. If you want to harvest plantain, you first have to sow the plantain in order to harvest the plantain. So what are you trying to harvest, or what are you trying to have? You want to have children. So be a blessing in their life. And don't be so fixated, like it has to happen this year, Father. That lady, in fact, I got married before her 3 years ago. She just got married yesterday. Oh, she's about to have it. No, 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 don't do it. See, God does not see the way we see here. Does not do, He is, trust me, in His own time for you, He will perfect it, that people will be like, how did it happen? He will perfect it. He will surprise you. So just take heart and just keep holding on. All right. All right. So let's see if you guys have any comments. Gotta put on NYDB. Okay. I hope my craving was plantain. Ripe plantain, roasted ripe plantain, or fried. Yes, open. I'm telling you, the lady. I remember the lady that I just said I was going on a trip to pray, not knowing that I was supposed to go serve somebody. And after I had served them and I was leaving, I remember the children getting together and praying for me. The children and I came back, and It wasn't even up to like 2 months, and I found out that I was pregnant with Nathaniel. It wasn't even the children, like, and you know, children genuine. I think at that time the oldest was even like 7 or so. It was 3 of them, and the fourth one was born while I was there. They were like, Auntie Stella, let's just pray for you. So they poured out their heart for me. She's actually 10 weeks. Yeah, so they poured out their heart and they prayed for me, and I came back and it was like boom, it happened. And I'm like, oh, so I was like, oh my goodness. I am thinking, I'm going there to de-stress. And God was like, I had a plan. I want you to go there and learn. I have a plan for you. You don't know it, but I'm going to show myself mighty and strong in your life. So praying for others too, I'm telling you. Like, I remember in my church all the time they'll be praying. Pray for people that are looking for the fruit of the womb. Pray for people that are pregnant, that when they go give birth, they'll give birth like the Hebrew women. And man, did I say that happened to me. So be a blessing unto others, guys. So thank you all for tuning in, Victoria. All of you that have tuned in to watch, I want to say thank you. I'm trying to see Doreen Owusumenu, thank you. Gloria Santowa, thank you. Thank you all. If you guys don't have any questions, you guys can keep emailing me, but sometimes it gets so overwhelming. I feel like it's easy to cover it in a video. I want to reach out to individuals that will reach out to me. I'm talking about, oh, what did you do? Like, in all honesty, it's not what I did do. You understand what that is? It's what did God do? That is what I'm pointing you to him. I'm telling you, I had a mom that like constantly was praying. I had people that were praying for me myself. That's what I'm saying. If God is speaking, are you hearing? Are you making yourself available, being a blessing unto others? You understand? But meanwhile, I had stopped eating some things. I had stopped taking certain shots. Like when I talk about certain shots, I'm talking about injection. That's what I'm saying. I had started working on myself. I've always taken prenatal vitamins. I even took the pregnant care in UK I spoke about. Steven, please, I'll take her and put her on my back. The pregnant care products, like in UK, like they have one that you can take before you get pregnant. So those kind of things, you have to tilt the ground. We're about to plant. So you have to tilt the ground, make sure that the ground is tilted and it's a hair to make sure that it's ready, to plant. All right. So that's exactly what I did, or the things that I did while I was waiting on God to show himself. So hopefully you learned something from me. But if you still have questions, please feel free to email me. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. This will be all. If there are no further questions, and I got more videos coming. Like I said, I gotta still shoot my 3rd video for the day. I don't know why I'm telling Steven to bring her. It's not like he can put her on his back. So bye guys. All right, remain in God, and if you are waiting on God, I pray that he will surprise you as he did for me. He did it when people are praying. They're like, oh Father, you did it for Sarah, you did it for Hannah. Yes, those are good prayers, those are things, but there are people in your life that you know that God have done it for them. Quote those people too. Me, when I'm praying for people, I say, Father, but you, and I'll say, you did it for me, so do it for them. That's what I'm saying. All right, be a blessing. Bye guys, see you in my next video.